world thinks more and more about sustainability with a growing world population, we have to think about where resources come from and how we manage those resources. And for both minerals and for water, I think it's really important that we look at the intersection of the science and the engineering and the social science as well as the business. And I think what we don't want to do are just academic studies that again don't necessarily translate well into the business sector, but we really have to understand what it takes for businesses to be successful and find a way to match that success in business with what society ultimately needs or is asking for. I'm a university distinguished professor and head of the Department of Mining and Geological Engineering, and I'm director of the Lowell Institute for Mineral Resources. We started the Institute in 2009 with funding from Science Foundation Arizona and 15 industry partners. And we've quickly grown to be what I believe to be the largest interdisciplinary mineral resource research group in the United States, and probably one of the 3 largest in the world. We look at issues like water in mining and ways that we can reduce water and reduce impact on clean water supplies. We look at ways to reduce energy consumption in the mining process. We're looking at ways to minimize surface impact of open pit mines and finding new ways to do underground mining again. And also looking at the social issues and the community impacts related to mining. I formed a company a few years ago with another faculty member and one of our joint Ph.D. students. It's called NOAA, LLC, and it stands for Neural Optimization Applied Hydrology, NOAH, designed to be a play on the fact that we do water. So NOAA you associate with a water management problem. And it was a unique software that we created that we received a patent for that allows us to take all of the large data streams that are collected in a well field and optimally manage that well field for whatever objectives you might have. We started off with a unique problem in New Jersey, around Toms River, New Jersey. There was a hypothesized pediatric cancer cluster in Toms River that was related to some chemical dumping that had taken place. And the well field was contaminated in places, and people did not want to receive that contaminated water in their homes, even though technically it met the EPA safe drinking water standards. There were some proprietary chemicals that were showing up that were inferred to be related to the cancer. And the issue there was how do you manage the pumping of that well field so that you don't draw that contaminant plume into your clean water wells, but yet you can supply fresh water to the customers in the area. And so we applied this technology for the first time to that case, and it worked. So we started looking around the country at people that had groundwater management supply issues in their utilities. And so we did some work in Florida and up in Massachusetts and in Minnesota and most of the areas that give us different kinds of geologic conditions for the aquifers. And it worked better than other people's techniques in every case that we tried it. It's very gratifying because a lot of times a research contract ends just as you're getting to the point where it looks really interesting and you have to go on to the next research project. And with this company, we've been able to really take research to the next step and see how it's applied in a lot of different situations. The things that I am most interested in are the things where there's a direct application in society for what I'm working on. It's not a book on the shelf, it's not a paper in the library, it's something that's actually being deployed that helps businesses, it helps society. In a world where there's more people competing for these resources, be it water or minerals, you have to manage those resources very effectively. I grew up with a father who's a geographer, and so it was all about the world and how interesting the world is. And in my line of work, it is global. It doesn't matter whether I'm in parts of China that have never seen an American before, or going to Mongolia, or working in the Middle East or Africa or South America. It's really about all these different cultures that inhabit this planet and how rich those cultures and societies are and what we have in common and what's different. and how natural resources and water intersect all of these different cultures.